God designed the relationship between a parent and child to change and develop over time. I know that when every parent holds a newborn child, in some way they're struck by how completely reliant their baby is on the nourishing and care of others. But we all know that children aren't designed to stay helpless. God has a plan of growth for each of them, a plan for children to mature and become independent, responsible, and capable adults. In this video, I want to highlight a helpful way to look at the stages of parenting, a way that tends to help support a child's emergence into confident independence. Some of this material was introduced to me at a JH Outback event, and I found it so useful that I've built it out over time and want to pass it along. It's helpful to think of the stages of parenting as a transition from caretaker to cop, cop to coach, and coach to consultant. Let me tell you what I mean. When our children are born, our primary function is caretaker. They can't feed themselves or change themselves. It's up to parents to provide the care they need to grow in a healthy way. God gave parents the ability to see needs and take care of them. My favorite definition of love I heard from my friend Dick Foth over 30 years ago. Dick's definition of love has been a driving force for my life, and especially my approach to marriage and parenting. He defined love this way. Love is the accurate estimation and adequate supply of another person's need. In order to love someone, we have to know them well enough that we can accurately estimate what their need is. And then we have to take action to adequately meet that need. Parents of young children know this well. This is the heart of caretaking. And it's not just preparing bottles and changing diapers. It's knowing that a child is tired and needs to get some rest. It's knowing that a child is scared and needs comforting. It's knowing that a child is aggravated or on edge and needs stability. The first stage of parenting is caretaker, where the primary drive for parents is to care for their child by meeting needs that a child either doesn't know they have or doesn't have the ability to articulate. But as children grow and develop, the parental role shifts from caretaker to what is kind of fun to summarize as cop. The job of a cop is to make sure that everybody knows the rules, that everybody is aware of the laws, and, if our behavior is reckless or disrespectful, to intervene before anyone gets hurt. When parents find themselves in the cop stage, we can often feel like our children are always being caught doing the wrong thing, being disobedient, not taking responsibility, disrespecting other people, or not paying attention. In this stage of life, it's critical for parents to help children understand the way the world around them works. Children need to understand that there are consequences for actions. Responsible behavior builds our self-confidence and our relationship with others, but selfish and immature decisions complicate our lives in ways that God doesn't want us to have to deal with. This is often the phase of parenting, where we have to teach our children about heavy emotional topics like pain and shame and regret. But their growing maturity is also ready to understand concepts like trust, attitude, mindset, and teamwork. Fortunately, the cop phase of parenting doesn't last forever. Once our children understand the main rules of life, how the world works around them, what is in bounds and out of bounds, we can shift into a third phase of parenting, coaching. My favorite definition of a coach is simply someone that challenges you to do hard things today so that you can do important things tomorrow. As your child's coach, you have eyes to see the type of important things that they can be capable of achieving. And it's your job as a parent to motivate them to overcome the obstacles they'll face between here and there. Coaching involves helping children set priorities. It's in this phase of life where you're likely to be most active in helping them to choose homework over video games, family meals over disposable TV shows, conversations of significance over YouTube, going to church together over sleeping in. It's at this phase where you'll need to help your child set goals in order to help them understand that they shouldn't settle for what comes conveniently. And you'll be asked to help them understand even specific behavior ethics that often confuse teens. Things like taming your tongue, fasting from alcohol, tobacco, and drugs, committing to God-honoring sexual stewardship, and the habits that provide the best foundation for marriage and family, developing high standards for online behavior. All of these are areas where even the most mature teenager needs active coaching from their parents. And those things that I just mentioned, they're not easy for anyone. So your teen and preteen need you to help prepare them to meet the challenges that they'll face so that they can conquer them. They need parents to challenge them to do hard things today so that they're prepared to do important things in the future. The final phase of parenting is a lot like consulting. Typically, college-age children and adult children have enough freedom that it requires a final transition in the parent-child relationship, and it tends to follow a lot of the principles that occur in the world of business consulting. I once listened to a very successful CEO of a large business in Birmingham talk about his relationship with consultants. He said that his office gets called multiple times a week from consultants and that they're nothing but a nuisance to him. Sometimes he takes the calls or sets a meeting just to be nice or because there's a pre-existing relationship. But he really knows when they're reaching out to him, they have an agenda, and it's usually to either get him to pay some money or to change something about his business. But he told me, you know what I discovered, Josh? When I have a problem, I'm the one that picks up the phone and calls a consultant. I call someone with insight into my problem, and when I'm the one calling, they're not a nuisance. They can write their own check. I'll pay them whatever they want in order to get their advice. Those same principles have a strong application to young adult and adult children. If you call your older child and begin to offer advice, you may be successful every now and then because of a pre-existing relationship, but it's most likely that you're just a speed bump in their day as they focus on other things. But if you as a parent pay attention to when your child calls, then you can maximize your influence. When your child brings up a topic, when your child texts out of the blue, when your child introduces something new for the first time, this is your opportunity to seize the moment because they are hungry for your insight. And like any good consultant, you can be ready and available. It's in this moment where you will have the most influence. So pay attention to when your child reaches out. As you think through these 4 stages of parenting, it's important to remember that while God has equipped each of us to be able, by His grace and through His strength, to parent our children, we all need encouragement and support from other parents. Whether you're in the middle of caretaking, whether you are in the thick of laying out the rules of life for your child, whether you're coaching or you're consulting, we want you to take courage. God has given you the insight that your child needs.